Yeah, it's another day after another brilliant weekend. And on that note, I welcome you to Niger Superfans Forum. My name is Olafemi Ashaolu. And today on the show, we'll be taking you to Ghana, of course, where the Golden Eagles of Nigeria emerged champions of the Waffle Zone B Under-17 Championship right there at the Cape Coast. Of course, they triumphed over Burkina Faso 2-1 in the final. And of course, we'll be looking at the ugly incident that we've been talking about right on the show. The debacle in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Of course, it is no longer news that Kano Pillars chairman attacked an assistant referee in that rescheduled week 31 fixture in the NPFL between his side, Kano Pillars, and Dakada FC. So, terrible incidents is happening in the Nigerian Professional Football. And of course, also be talking about an incident that happened over the weekend in the game between Katsina United and of course Remo Stars, where the referee added 36, it's quite funny, 36 minutes. I've never seen that in world football where a referee will have a 36 minutes regardless of whatever might have happened, when it wasn't that a player actually gave birth on the field of play. And of course, today we'll be taking you across leagues in Africa, wherever you are, maybe in your living room, in your office, wherever you are watching us from. We'll be taking you to leagues across Africa. Trust me, the traditional teams are being dethroned in Africa, and of course, we'll be taking you closer to the action as far as that is concerned on the show. We'll also be talking about African players who have moved and those who are on the verge of moving. And Liverpool, again, they stand the chance of losing Mohamed Salah, just like they lost Sadio Mane to Bayern Munich because of contractual issues. Kade Ogundare is very much around. Kade, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How was your weekend?
As usual, full of football.
I know, but you're not feeling jiggy about what happened in the Nigerian Professional Football League over the weekend. But before we get started, let's talk about the Golden Eagles. We can't take the shy of them. They went to Ghana, and though a lot of people believe that Onduka Ogbade could deliver, but when he was going, he downplayed the possibility of Nigeria winning the tournament. He said his focus was to qualify for AFCON. And of course, they did that in grand style, defeating Burkina Faso. You remember you talked about the Burkina Babes as perhaps being the best team in the championship.
Yeah, I said so.
But the Golden Eagles, they did it in grand style.
Yeah, I recall I said this game was going to be very tight to call. And if you saw the game from beginning to the end like I did, and I think I saw practically all of the games, I said that based on the impression I had of all the teams that played in the competition, and I actually said the scoreline was going to be 2-1, 1-1, or 1-0. Very tight margins. Yeah. And that came because of the quality of both sides. In the first half of that game, you saw the Nigerians come out like a house on fire. They were all over the Burkina Faso. Then in the second, towards the end of the first half and the large part of the second half, Burkina Faso also came out, and it was a ding-dong affair. It was fairly balanced. The quality of the Eagles shown through finally. I liked what I saw in the team. I am happy with what Onduka is building. I'm happy with what he's building. Like I said, I'm not a stranger to Onduka and his team. And I am happy for Nigeria and Nigerians. And I'm happy for the Burkina Faso too, that this zone, the Waffle B zone, is going to present two quality teams at the AFCON. And hopefully the two of them will get to pick the World Cup ticket at the end of the day. And
Ugbadis said the attention, the focus has now shifted to the AFCON, that the focus now is now to pick a ticket to the World Cup.
Rightly so. You see, Ugbadi has always been a very methodical man, even in his private life, if you know him very well. He's a very methodical man. You know what? He could have talked about the AFCON whilst going for the Waffle B, but he decided not to even bother himself with
one at a
time. He said the focus is to pick the AFCON ticket, not the World Cup, even though that was going to be the ultimate.
Right.
Now that has been done, the AFCON ticket is in the bag. Now the next step is to get a World Cup ticket. You know what? After getting that World Cup ticket, he's going to tell you that now his focus is to go out there and try to win it, because becoming the first person in the history of the competition to win as a captain and as a coach. That would be a very good record to have, and I hope he gets to do it.
Okay, Kari, the Nigerian team, do you think there still need to be changes to the team, or do you think Nigeria already have a balanced team, or there's need for competition in that team?
I think we need a striker in the mode of a Victor Osimhen. Don't forget, he got discovered in this competition.
Of course,
at this level.
Yeah.
We need a striker in that mode somebody who will get 3 chances and you are sure he will score 2. So that, I think, is what this team has lacked. Even though the goal scoring duties has been shared evenly,
the Emmanuel Michael scoring 3 goals.
3 goals. The guy Abdullahi up front scoring 2.
Yeah.
Then there's this super sub like AK who came on twice and scored goals. So it shows that there's no main attacker in that team. So it would not hurt this team to have somebody who is a proven goal scorer. But if that would mean disturbing the balance of this team, they should just go with this team.
If it doesn't break, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. All I want is if the addition is going to disrupt the balance that this team already has.
It's better left than it is.
It's better you just leave it like this. But if we see that player within the age bracket who can score 2 out of 3 chances, in fact, who can score 1 out of 3 chances, that's like 33% scoring chance. I will take him. I'll take him, Femi. I think this team is.
But it has to be better than those
we already have. Yes, that's the criteria. But this team is as good as it can be. That's the only area I see. And for me, it's not a big problem like that. If you don't get to, as long as this ones, they also score. They score more than any other team in the competition. They scored, I think, 12, 13 goals. That for me is okay. But there are days that you just need one, that out-and-out striker, that you need that. No, come what may,
to do the job for you.
Is going to get that goal. That's what you need.
Okay, and for emphasis, Nigeria are the champions of the WAFU Zombie Under-20. Remember, that took place in the Nigeria Republic in May, and the Ladamboso's boys, they did the job, and of course, they'll be representing the subcontinent in the AFCON Under-20 Championship that will be taking place in Egypt next year. And also, Nigeria, of course, they just won the Under-17 WAFU Zombie Championship, and the AFCON will be taking place in Nigeria, of course, also in 2023. Kayode, let's talk about the NPFL. It's always very sad. We ought to come here and talk about what the league is doing to improve situation of things, but rather we come here to talk about very ugly things that should not be happening in the 21st century, because I still try to understand what that Canopilas Chama was trying to do by assaulting an assistant referee for upholding a goal that he felt was offside. You had to come down all the way from the VIP stand to assault an assistant referee. Kayode.
Femi, I've said this several times on this program that as long as you treat equal people unequally, this is what you get. Once you show that you are afraid to take certain decisions, people will game the system.
But, sorry, Kayode, he's been expelled, but I always feel that it is not enough.
How can you just expel him?
This is not enough.
And the result will stand. No. So that means tomorrow, he has done what he wanted to do. That means tomorrow, my team now will play. I'll go on the pitch, assault the referee, make sure that I intimidate them to cancel goals or to give us goals that we have not merited, and at the end of the day, you say I'm expelled, and the result stands. That's the initial plan.
And you are very correct, because the assistant referee upheld that goal scored by Dakada.
Yes.
Then after that assault, when the referee consulted him to actually, so that they can put head together about the goal, he overruled the goal.
He capitulated because he feared for his safety. I won't blame the assistant referee.
If a club chairman can do that, then what wouldn't the fans do?
Femi, don't forget I said this before. I said there is no violence that does not have the hand of the club. At least the tacit.
I think I agree with you now.
The tacit.
I think I agree with you now, absolutely.
I want anybody to prove me wrong that any violence that has been perpetrated at any venue has the support, encouragement, or the instruction of the club.
The one who assaulted the referee in the game between MFM and Enugu Rangers in Lagos, where is that guy up to today?
You won't see him because he has done the bidding of the club. The same thing has happened in Canopilla. But you know why this is generating furor? It's because we are talking about the chairman. He doesn't get higher than that.
Chairman.
He doesn't get higher than that. That guy should not only be expelled, he should be prosecuted, and that team should lose the 3 points. You cannot benefit from an illegality.
You know, there was a time the league management company was accused of pampering northern teams, especially when they perpetrate violence compared to the teams in the south. I don't want to go into that, but this again, because we've seen LMC deduct points from other clubs this season. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? With this now, with what you just said, I think Kano Pillars were supposed to lose all the 3 points.
Definitely, they already have a suspended sentence already. 3 points has been suspended, which means that anytime they repeat the same thing, those 3 points will be automatically deducted. So I don't see any reason why you should be pampering them.
This is quite funny.
Just take the 3 points off. In fact, as a matter of fact, they should have taken more than 3 points. If they have to go on relegation, so be it.
This is a team that just returned from Abuja, where they were banished to for assaulting Katsina United.
Social media. That should tell you, you should have an idea of what has been done over the years. Before we came on set, I told you about a certain coach in a certain year that said he was sure that his team would win all 15 games at home in the league. That all they needed to do was just to go away and pick points. But he was sure that I have never heard that before. Not even Barcelona, not AC Milan will say they will win all 15 games before the beginning of the season.
Oh.
Because he knew that it was not going to be down to the ability of the players on the pitch or his own coaching ability. He knew they would have extra help. Those are the things that happen. But when you talk about these things, people look at you as in you are an enemy of the country, you are an enemy of the league. No, if you do not say this, Femi, things will continue to go from bad to worse. Okay,
Kayode, let's talk about the very funny incident that I've not seen any of its kind before in football. Between Katsina United and Remo Stars just over the weekend. We thought we've seen the last of it. Remember that something similar happened at Lobby Stars earlier this season, where the referee gave a 24-minute. Now, this incident, 36-minute Kayode, there was an incident. Remo got an equalizer, making the result 2-2 at that time. Then the referee added 36 minutes. And in the dying minute of the 36 minutes, then Katsina got the winning goal 3-2. And that result helped them to swim out of relegation, of course, because they were 17th before that game, and now they are 15th, Kayode. Where are we going, Kayode? Really, I don't know how baffled you are, but I think if there's a sport that the Minister of Youth and Sports should ban, should dismantle, should dislodge, should scatter, if that adjective is appropriate, it should be NPFL, Kayode.
Seriously, like I have said severally, and most people have misunderstood, Femi, we are not running a proper football league. We are not doing football business in Nigeria as it is at the moment. We need to tell ourselves the home truth. This is not the right way to go. Every week brings up all sorts of issues. If it's not assault on referees, it is assault on the opposition team. If it is not that, it is questionable calls from the referee. It is questionable dodgy decisions from even the league management body. But
Kayode, can you blame the referee? Because sometimes they do this thing to save their lives. Look at what happened between Kano Pillars and Dakada. I'm sure that assistant referee was assaulted. In his mind, he would be thinking that if I do not do this, I may lose my life on that ground.
Femi, let me say something. The referee and the opposition team and the visiting team have the right, it is within their right to say they are not playing if a certain number of security personnel is not on ground. You can say you are not playing, and see, you know what? The league body will back you up because it is in the law books that if a certain number of security personnel, policemen, army, whatever it is, are not available to safeguard you and even the fans, then you can say you are not playing. So if the referee decides for whatever reason to go ahead with the game when he knows that there are only 6 policemen in the stadium, would you not blame if he gets attacked? Okay. When it was within his powers to stop the game, he could have said, you know, at the pre-match, there's a pre-match that they hold before the game is played. That's where the two teams come together. The match commissioner, the referee and his assistants, they all come together to look at the game that is about to be played. Okay, what are your fears? Okay, we have this, we have this.
I was going to ask what the responsibility of the match commissioner is. And I'm sure there should be someone in charge of security as well.
Yes.
Head of security for every game.
The security is left in the hands of the home team. They arrange security. It is now left for them to say, okay, you know what, we are going to provide 50 policemen.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, maybe that is not how the NPFL is structured. Yeah. I'm sure every club, every properly run club have head of security.
Yes, they do.
I don't know if we have them. They should.
They should. But what happens in a situation where at the pre-match conference, the team A, which is playing at home, tells team B and the match officials that, you know what, we have 50 policemen. They'll ask Team B, are you satisfied? They say yes. But when you get to the stadium at match kickoff, you now find out that instead of 50 official policemen, you find only 6. At that point, you can decide you are not playing. Yes, you can decide you are not playing.
Yeah.
The match officials can say we are not going to go ahead with this game until you provide the 50 that the law says you should provide. But if the match official and the visiting team decides to go ahead, in some cases you do not blame you. They have themselves to blame because they could have controlled that eventuality happening. They could have decided they are not going to play, and nobody is going to hold them responsible for not playing until the other. It has happened before in this same country. So,
Coyote, it's the first time in history that there's going to be 3 halves in a football match. Because, because if the first half ended 45 minutes, the second half, the 45 minutes, and the referee decides to add 36 minutes in the game, that's just a few minutes to make another half. Coyote, as that was happening, the devil really used people to have a field day in Nigerian football this past weekend. Of course, remember what happened in the NNL? Yeah. In Warri, where a player official was a player this time punched.
Not one, Femi. The players descended on the match.
They didn't even look at it that the official is a woman, and they punched her until she lost consciousness.
What I learned is she's still battling to save her life in the hospital now. She's still struggling seriously. Hopefully, she will pull through. But like I said, Femi, when one incident happens and you gloss over it, you do not strictly punish people. What you are saying is you are enabling, you are empowering other people to also do the same. When you now decide to punish them, they will refer you back to the people who did it before that you did not punish. Then you now look like you are taking sides. But you know what? That's why justice is blind. You do not look at who is involved, you just apply the law, which we have failed to do consistently over time.
Coyote, what do we do to this NPFL? In my honest suggestion, I think we should stop the league for now until when we are ready, when all the clubs are ready to sign agreement. Really, Coyote.
Shifting responsibility. There's a body, the league management company, empowered by the NFL, the Nigerian Football Federation, to run the league.
But obviously, LMC has shown that they are incompetent.
Instead of talking about shutting down the league, you should be talking about shutting down the LMC. You should not transfer responsibilities, Femi. They have the responsibility. If they are not doing it, and they've shown that they are interested parties in some of these incidents. They showed by a act of omission or commission that they favor one club over the other. If they do not, they should apply the law equally, evenly. If they do that, everybody will sit down and behave themselves. It's just like you having kids at home. If you do not punish them when they do the wrong things, fine, you tell them sometimes you need to not spare the rod. You understand? If you do not do that, what you are saying is you are giving them an open floor to do whatever they like. That's what has happened. Instead of talking about shutting down the league, you should be talking about shutting down the LMC.
Kano Pillars were fined 1 million naira. Does that even suffice for what Suraji Aya did?
I've told you, it's not about the amount that they fine them. It's about the value of the fine, of the punishment.
Sorry, Kaude, in my opinion, if there is even going to be a fine, the fine should be real fine, 50 million naira.
Femi, if you fine them 50 million, it is not in the law books that you can fine them 50 million. So you cannot bring punishment that is not in the law books.
Then you had it.
What is in the law books that you can
You amend the law.
What is
the law is made for man, not man for the law.
That will ought them more than the 50 million that you are talking about is deduction of points. Femi, you and I know how difficult it is to get 1 point in the Nigerian league. If you deduct 3 points now,
but these teams, by their conduct, they are not showing that it's really difficult.
No, it is not. It is. Femi, if you deduct 3 points now and deduct 3 points in the second half, and you say repeat offenders are likely to be thrown out of the league, and you actually go ahead to implement it, others will fear. We've talked about this. I told you about what happened to stationary stores in 1993. They were the defending league champions. The league says if you fail to honor 2 away matches, you will be thrown out. Unfortunately for stores, they had internal crisis. There was a struggle for ownership of the club, so they could not honor
within the family.
Within the family that owned the club, they could not honor two league away games, and automatically they were relegated. That's the problem that stores had since then. One of the biggest teams in the Nigerian league ever, one of the best supported teams. Up to today, they've not been able to come back. Up to today, as at last season, they tried to bring the club back. They've not been able to do it because somebody had the balls to apply the law when it should be applied in 1993.
Well, the Minister of Youth and Sport in Nigeria, I'm talking about Honorable Sunday Dare, actually suspended basketball because of the crisis, the leadership crisis rocking that federation. And that was even on the heels of the fact that basketball in Nigeria was yielding results because the women, of course, they won back-to-back African championship. But the minister has still suspended the active basketball activities in Nigeria. But at least, thank God, now that decision has been rescinded. I think if the minister is really interested in banning any, well, I don't know, activities, sport activities in Nigeria, I think it should be the NPFL, because it is becoming a ridicule to the whole world. This morning, Kyle, I was listening to a program online, and a former Super Eagles player was saying that his colleagues in the US who also played football for Nigeria were saying that, is it the type of league that you guys are saying we should come and invest in? You know, it's becoming a national disaster, so to say, because everything, it will always have Nigeria being attached to it. But let's go to something that is a bit of good news now. Super Eagles technical advisor, Jose Pesero, visited the stadium. You remember that stadium hosted the CAF Confederation Cup, and he said, wow, this is some good pitch. I know that you'll be wondering why the game against Sierra Leone for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations was taken to Abuja. You'll be wondering why not here.
Femi, I've been to the Uyo Stadium many times. I've watched games there, and I remember seeing it on this program that for ambience, for quality of pitch, we now do not have a better stadium than that Uyo Stadium. But I know, I understand why the game was taken to Abuja, the World Cup playoff and the other game against Sierra Leone. It is purely politics. You want them to come and play in Abuja because that's where the seat of government is. But it doesn't work that way. You have to think about the comfort of the players.
Stadium that it was a nice one on the camera. I don't know how the players felt about it.
When you play in Uyo, because how many people, the hotel is in Hideaway. Not many people can go there. There's enough security for the players. There's less distraction. There's the pitch itself is very, very superb. So I see no reason why we should take any of our games out of Uyo. During the qualifiers for the 2018 World Cup, all our games were played in Uyo, and we got fantastic results.
Yeah.
The reception was good. Fans and players and journalists all had a good time there. I remember I saw all our games there, and I have very, very pleasant memories of that place. As a journalist, I know the same for the supporters, for the players too. So I see no reason why we cannot take all our games there.
Let me read Pasero's comment before we go on the break. He said, this is a good stadium. Feels like Europe, and the standard of facility is world class. I came here to watch the match and to check the stadium. That was NPFL fixture over the weekend. And I must say that the stadium is big and in a nice condition. So I think the NFF should think about maybe Nigeria's the remaining fixtures for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, the home fixtures now, should be played in New York. Let's quickly go on this very, very brief. We'll come back to talk about the triumph of Hearts of Oak over the weekend in the Ghana FA Cup. Of course, they defeated Beckham 2-1 in that final. Of course, we'll be taking you across leagues across the continent. I told you that new kings have been crowned in most of the leagues across the continent. Of course, the traditional team are being displaced. So we'll be taking you on a very, very long but exciting journey when we return from the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and it's still Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Of course, we've talked about a very burning issue right here in Nigerian football, the ugly incidences of terrible refereeing decisions, and of course, the triumph of the Nigerian Golden Eagles in Ghana. Now, let's quickly, before we go on talking about the roundup of leagues across the continent, we told you that new kings have emerged in most of the leagues across the continent. The traditional teams are really being displaced, and I saw the celebration about the team in Tanzania. Wow, it was unbelievable. It looks like that country just won the FIFA World Cup. But trust me, it's just a local league with thousands and thousands of people trooping out to celebrate the victory of their darling team. Kyle, let's start in Ghana. Hearts of Oak, they had a terrible, very challenging season. Remember when the flu broke out in the camp, and I particularly assumed that perhaps it was what affected their push to finish maybe in the first 3 or 4th in the Ghana Premier League. But of course, they redeemed themselves with the victory in the Ghana FA Cup, 2-1 over Beckham United. And I think they are the Arsenal of the Ghana FA Cup. They have the record, 12 titles now. They won it.
Yeah, well, I am happy for all arts of fans. It's good. Like you know me, I'm a sucker for the traditional teams winning things because they have the structure to compete on the bigger scale on the African continent.
So you don't like upsets, right?
No, upsets they are good for the moment, but when you talk about teams that have the structure, the experience to win things, you talk about Ashanti Kotoko, talk about Kotoko, about Arts, you talk about Enyimba, talk about Rangers. Those are the teams that have the pedigree, they have the experience, they have the history behind them.
You didn't mention your team, 3SC.
Nothing gets bigger than 3SC. First team in Nigeria to win the.
And they've repented now. They no longer be journalists. They've repented now.
That one incident should not tar a whole team. Okay. They are a team with proud history. They're the first team to win a Continental trophy in Nigeria. The first team to win the CAF Cup. A whole lot of first for 3SC. And for me, like I said, I deliberately decided not to mention them. But since you brought 3SC, we are very, very proud.
No, but we have to pay Caesar what he did to Caesar.
We are very proud. So I am happy for Arts of Oak. I'm happy that they've done so well. We'll get to see them on the continent. They have to do better than they did in the league. See, it's always easier to win the cup competitions because all you need to do is turn up on the day, win your game. But in the league, that's where you see the truly better teams. Kotoko has shown that they were the better team in their one season. Arts of Oak were not too far behind. They've won the cup, but they have to do better than they did last season.
Okay, Kyle, let's talk about the league roundups across the continent, starting from with Ghana. Remember that, of course, that is done and dusted for Kotoko. Then in Nigeria, Plateau United, Rivers United, I meant to say.
Rivers United, the league is still on. 3 games to go. They have a 10-point advantage.
Nobody's so it's done and dusted for them.
Rivers, congratulations to them. They did excellently well over the course of the season. They've been the best team over every other person. If you go to Algeria, you will see that in Algeria, even though there are 2 games to go, but Belu Zadad are opened a 9 points difference, even with 2 games to go. So that means
they're home and dry.
They've won. In Angola, Petro de Luanda beat Primeiro de Agosto.
Wow. Petro de Agosto, another traditional team in that country.
14 points difference. Primeiro de Agosto are the biggest team in Angola. They are the best funded team in Angola, but they were beaten to the title by Petro. So in Benin, Cotton Sports Oida beat Buffaloes and Lotopopo by 1 point. 49 points.
That was close.
Unfortunately, the big teams, Dragons, are nowhere to be found. They were just not on the radar.
Maybe the fire is out now. They can no longer stick fire.
Gaborone United, they are the big teams. They got 72 points. The Township Rollers, who had 66 points. Township, they are the 2 big teams in Botswana. In Burkina Faso, RCK 50 points. RCK 50 points, Majestic 49, and Douans 48. That was
very close. Very close.
It can be. In Chad, it was Fola Edifice 43 points to Tobilon 35. Tobilon are the big teams, but these new boys came and out of nowhere they seized the mantle from them. So Tobilon came second. In Congo, the Abunos, who are the traditional big teams, they are the Black Devils. That's the translation. Their nickname. They ended up on 53 points. But Oto, a relatively new team, had 59 points to win the title.
No, that's what we said. The traditional teams are being displaced.
They are being displaced all over the continent. In Ivory Coast, ASEC Mimosas,
of course, as expected,
they won 61 points to Sporting Gardner, who had 49. Unfortunately, African Sport, which used to be the rival, they are not even in the Premier League, in the first division.
That's very sad.
They've gotten relegated about 2-3 seasons ago, which is very, very sad. In Ghana, we've talked about Ghana, Asante Kotoko. They won 67 points to Mediamas 56. In Guinea, Oroya de Conakry, they are the traditional big teams in they won 64 points. In Kenya, Tosca, wait for this, Tosca ended with 66 points. The same with Home Boys.
Goal difference.
Just a goal difference of +4.
Wow.
Tosca won the league by +4 goal difference. Tosca are a big team, but the biggest team, Gormaya, they ended up with 58 points. So they are also one of the big teams that beat the dust. In Liberia, Watanga finished with 42 points, Mountain 41, Mighty Boarole, which are the big teams, ended up in 7th position with 31 points.
Wow.
Then Invisible 11, another big team, unfortunately, sadly relegated. They are one of the big teams of the Liberian league. In Morocco, this is Wydad 62 points, Raja Casablanca 56. That's 6 points difference with 2 games to go.
6 points difference with 2 games to go. So there is something to play for. Just the next game will decide, of course. Yeah.
There is. So hypothetically, if Raja wins their 2 games and Wydad lost their 2 games by a cricket score, then Raja can get to sneak in and win it. But they are the 2 big teams, so there are no surprises there. In Nigeria, we've talked about Rivers United winning 71 to Plateau 61 points.
Yeah.
In Rwanda, APR 66 points. They defeated Kiyovu, who had 65. The big team, AS Kigali, ended up with 49 points.
Wow.
They are not even in the top 6. Sorry, they are not in the top 4. In Senegal, Casa Sport had 47 points, Jara 45, Genfoot 42. The big teams are not even.
They are not even in the show at all.
In Sierra Leone, we have Bo Rangers. This is new for me, Femi. 78 points. East End Lions, who are a big team, they had 62. East End Lions were a team
62.
They were a team that were big on the continent.
Back then.
In the 80s, they were a very, very big team in the continent. The mighty Blackpool, who are also a very big team in Sierra Leone, ended up with 50 points.
That was a wide margin.
So in South Africa, Mamelodi Sundowns, they are a big team. They won with 65 points. But surprise, Cape Town City, they came second with 49 points.
Another big margin, wide margin.
Yes, relatively new team with 49 points. Chiefs and Pirates, the big teams, so to speak, ended in 6th and 7th. Something is happening.
It will roll.
Like,
certainly, the coaches.
Are you sure, Raptor? We are not seeing the end of the world. In Tanzania, we saw
the celebration.
You see the celebration. Young Africans, they call themselves Yanga. They are the young Africans. They won the title. 71. Simba, they are close rivals.
I hope every country, fans of every country, they will come out to celebrate their teams like that. The town was
the color.
Wow,
everything will remind you of Europe.
You will, yeah, exactly. You will think it's an European country. The pictures will be on the screen.
They are scrolling on the screen now. In Togo, Asco de Kara won because the way they play in Togo is there's a first run and there's a championship run where teams from each group they now play the championship run. Asco de Kara won with 22 points. Another team, Kara FC, in second. Then there's a Semasi Soko, it used to be a good team. They are relegated. In Uganda, Vipers had 94 points. KCAA, a very, very big team. 74 points, sorry. KCAA ended up with 56.
Another wide margin.
SC Villa, who lost the CAF Cup to 3SC of Nigeria in 1992, a very, very big team. They used to be Nakivubo Villa then, but they changed their name to SC Villa. They ended up in 12th position with 33 points.
Maybe they shouldn't have changed the name.
In Zambia, Red Arrows won with 70 points. Zesco United 63. In Ghana, Red Devils 44th position. Power Dynamos 5th position. Zanaco 6th position. The 4th, 5th, and 6th used to be the traditional.
Zanaco. These are
the teams. Power Dynamos in Ghana, Zesco, they are the big teams, but all of them fell by the wayside. This shows you that there's a dynamism.
There's a new wave
of power shift in African football, and we hope it will be sustained. We don't want to see one season wonders. If these teams can mount pressure on the big teams, don't forget, even in Nigeria, Rivers United are winning the title for the first time.
For the first time in their history.
They are winning the title for the first time in their history. So that's
we hope they'll be able to keep the players together, consolidate, and represent the country well in the continent.
The players are about living.
Governor Wike has money.
It doesn't matter. The players, Wike will not be governor forever. He's going to live in 2023. He's not going to be governor forever. What if the next governor comes in and is not a football crazy.
That's what we talk about, private individuals coming to invest.
So I like this dynamic change in power. We are seeing the new boys coming to take over gradually from the old established order. And for me, this is the way to go in African football.
We want you to tell us how your team fared in the just concluded season. How did your team fare? Do you think they did well, particularly in Ghana for Kotoko fans and for Hearts of Folk fans? Do you think the FA Cup victory is enough to redeem their season? So this is the only place you can get such thing. You know, we just took you through the continent to tell you who emerged as champions in the respective leagues across the continent. Kayode, before we go, let's quickly talk about some moves by African players. Sadio Mane now is done and dusted. He's now a Bayern Munich player. Now, Liverpool are on the verge of maybe losing Salah by next season because of the issue of salary cap and all that. Maybe. Now, there's been reports that why Mane left Liverpool was not because of wages, but because of he does not feel treated like the way Real Madrid, Man City treat their big players. He feels Liverpool do not give them that honor, apart from money. Now, Salah is almost on that verge because they feel they are not treated in the same caliber like the way other big clubs treat their players. So, Salah, my possible move. Taiwo Awoniyi has gone to Nottingham Forest from Union Berlin. Now, Ghana goalkeeper Wallacott, of course, he has joined Charlton Athletic, of course, from Sweden. So at least he's a step ahead for Wallacott because, of course, Sweden was in the third tier, but now he has moved to the championship.
Maduka Okoye has reported with
Watford already. Now, Calvin Bassey and, of course, Joe Aribo, they are also being, they are still being courted. In fact, as a matter of fact, Rangers have been advised to cash in on Calvin Bassey because it seems
also advise the players to leave now.
Why, Kayode?
No, when your price is high and people are looking at you, it's better to leave at that time because if you don't leave, you don't ever can tell what will happen next season.
But you can also not tell what will happen where you're going.
No, it's better to go there. I think you are going on this level. Increased pay, a change of environment. It could take time before you adapt, but then since it's not a one-season loan or whatever, it's a long-term deal. You go there, you get with the project, and before you know it, you become established there. You started in Rangers one day, so you're going to definitely go and start somewhere else.
What do you think about Salah's situation with Liverpool? Because he has not signed a new contract.
The truth is, players will always be players. It's just like a woman who is tired of you. They will always look for an excuse to leave you. These are players who have spent 5-6 years in Liverpool. How come it is now that they just remember that they are not being treated like superstars?
No, they've been on contract negotiation for, I think, since last season.
I do not still agree.
Same situation with Paul Pogba with Manchester United.
Salah has every right to seek his happiness wherever he wants to.
But do you think African players are undervalued? Because I feel if someone like Sadio Mane and Salah are white, I think they will be treated better.
I agree they are. There's no doubt about that. African players are. And it's not only African players. Players have an hierarchy. For example, any English player who has...
Isn't that racism in some way?
Well, who pays the piper dictates the tune.
But isn't that racism in some way?
I do not know.
Because of color?
I do not
Or because of where they come from?
No, that's
stereotype.
That's why I said it's not... You see, there's an hierarchy of players. If you're an English player, they always pay over the odds. I still keep maintaining that a Jack Grealish, for example, I would never pay 100 million for a Jack Grealish. But other people thought it was worth more than that. They were willing and they paid. There are some players who have 3 times the quality and talent of Jack Grealish who will go for less than 30 million. So there's an hierarchy of players. I agree with you that African players are not well valued.
Maybe they should stay back at home. We love them.
To do what at home? Tell me to do what? What is at home to stay back? Even at that, I heard money is reportedly on the £250,000 per week now from what he used to earn at Liverpool. Even when he was at Liverpool, you know what he was doing with the money. So whatever they pay him is still big money when he comes back to Africa. That's why I cannot ask them to stay, because first they have to improve their own life circumstance. They have to look at their family. Because of responsibilities. Their family, their community.
Particularly money, you see what he does in the family.
Super Eagles player who told me in confidence that he has played for the Super Eagles for like 5 years now. He has never spent a kobo of his match bonus
On himself.
on himself. The moment he collects, he is paid like this, he gives it to those who will share it. That's his responsibility. So when they fight for increment, sometimes I understand where they are coming from. The responsibility is just at this level. Femi, if you have a brother who plays football, I know you will quit this job. You will just go and stay at home.
I'll be his agent. I'll be his agent. Okay, I hope you've of course you've ordered your copy of The Making of Nigeria's Dream Team, put together by exceptional Dr. Mumini Alao. Of course, like we told you, you can get that book on Amazon, and of course, if you are in Nigeria, you can get it on Jumia. And if you want a personalized autographed copy, of course, you can reach us through the email that we read out to you last week. Of course,
Nigeria Superfans1@gmail.com.
Okay, so you've heard it. Okay, just send us a mail. Of course, you will get an autographed copy for yourself. Kade Ogundare, once again, thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so we are looking forward to, maybe there will be a small reception for Undoka Ogbade and his boss.
Yes, I let the ministers organize one. He's planning to organize one for them.
So that will be at least it to further motivate the boys, of course, ahead of the AFCON that will be taking place in Algeria next year. And for to our producer, we say thank you very much for always putting this out for us every time. So you out there, we cannot thank you enough for your comments. Of course, you're never tired of keeping them coming. Like we told you, if there's any issue that has to do with football that you want us to actually discuss in Africa, please bring it to our attention. Of course, you'll be rest assured that we'll give it the needed attention. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, share our videos, and if there's any other thing that you want us to be aware of, please bring it to our notice. Until we come your way again, we say have a fun time to yourself. Bye for now.